one of the coolest changes coming up next season. And by the way, that TWAB was absolutely insane. We discussed it already, and we all agree on one thing. There's some crazy changes. And one of those changes that I'm gonna just show you right now is about this weapon right here. I was already working on a build for this weapon for you guys. It's crazy. And we're gonna go over this build right here. I'm gonna tell you guys why I think this is so much fun, why I think this is so effective. And even though special ammo is getting nerfed next season, this build is still gonna be super fun, especially in 6s. So when you put all these things together, you will see how easy it is to melt people. So first, let's take a look at how Wavesplitter works right now, and then we will take a look at the upcoming changes. And keep in mind, you don't have to wait for next season to use this build. Even right now, in this current sandbox, this is a lot of fun to use. So this perk right here, Supercharged Battery, collecting an orb of power grants a short period of maximum power that starts with an automatic reload. Now that's every time you pick up an orb. Wavesplitter doesn't have a catalyst, so that used to be the biggest issue with this gun, because you couldn't really make it work, because you would have to get the weapon kills with a masterworked weapon and then kind of swap to this one and pick up the orb while you were using Wavesplitter, and then you would proc the perk. But now with this season, we all know that on the helmet you can equip these bad boys right here, the harmonic mods. Rapid weapon final blows with damage matching your subclass type creates an orb of power. Now obviously for the helmet, chat, a better choice right here instead of this one, which is arc, would be a void helmet, because on this one you can slap on this bad boy right here, void siphon, which means that rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. The reason I'm not doing this at the moment is because I'm saving the materials for the next season in case I get a better roll, so I'm not rushing that. But if you do have a helmet that has really good rolls, go ahead and do that. That's going to be the best combination in terms of this weapon right here for this build. Keep in mind, equipping multiple copies of this mod increases the potency of the generated orb, which is absolutely crazy for this weapon, guys. But the great thing about all of this is, about this build, is that every time you're gonna be picking up your orb, not only are you gonna be proccing and maximizing the damage of Wavesplitter itself by picking up the orb, but you will be combining it with high energy fire and taking charge. Yes, you heard me right. And by the way, those things stack. And once you pick that orb up, it's GG, okay? Like everybody gets deleted. You do 23 damage per headshot, and this thing just absolutely melts everyone. In my case, I really like to combine it with the filaments. You guys know that I absolutely love this exotic. I feel like it's so powerful just to have that devour every time I drop the rift and fully heal myself in case I'm one shot or something. It's just really cool. I wish I could use this exotic on other subclasses, but hey, it is what it is. At least it works really well with the void subclass, and I'm really happy about it. And in combination, right, the fact is you're also using empowering rift with this one, which means that every time you do drop this, you're doing a lot more damage with Wavesplitter. It makes it much easier for you to get the double kills, create the orb, and then pick it up and absolutely destroy everyone. It's so much fun to use. It's awesome. But that's not where it ends. Now, right here on the gloves, you will see me using this bad boy right here, Sustained Charge. Become charged with flight by rapidly defeating combatants with auto rifles, trace rifles, or machine guns. Additional copies of this mod increase the time allowed between combatants that are defeated. You see that on the chest piece, I have my second mod, right? And this will proc from time to time. It's not like all the time, but it definitely works. Okay, now let's talk about the changes that are happening next season, and you right away will understand why I think Wavesplitter with this build is just gonna be so much better. And I mean a lot better. Unless you had that orb already picked up, it would be kind of randomized, right? Sometimes it would do max damage, sometimes it would be in the middle, sometimes it would be on the lower part, but now that's completely changing. So let me read this for you. Wavesplitter, void damage type update, and the power cycling mechanic was interesting, but ultimately hard to capitalize on. Power level no longer cycles randomly. The default damage output is the same as the old middle tier. Picking up an orb of power now grants 10 seconds of maximum power and caps at 20 seconds, up from 5 and 10. Now suppresses targets while granted this mode by picking up an orb. Okay, guys, you understand what's happening here, right? Every time you pick up that orb, your weapon goes absolutely insane, okay? Your damage goes to the maximum, and It's no longer 5 seconds now, it's 10 seconds, and it suppresses targets. Oh, so by any chance, let's say you kill 2 guys, you create the orb, you pick it up as super's running at you, you're like, no, stop right there. He no longer has a super, and you absolutely melt him. That's how good this is gonna be. Once again, the great thing about this overall setup is you're not forcing any kind of play style. You're just running it, you're playing, you're getting the kills, you're creating the orbs when you get those double kills, and sometimes you're becoming charged with light. And on top of that, right, you also have the empowering rift. And once you do pick up the orb, then obviously, as we went over, if you're using taking charge and high energy fire, you're absolutely melting people. In the kinetic slot, I'm going to be combining it with the peace bond, okay? Now, the reason I like the sidearm is because it has harmony. You get the first kill with Wavesplitter, move on to peace bond, you have harmony up, and now with the full automod sidearms are just so much deadlier. And especially next season when, you know, special ammo is going to be nerfed in terms of like fusions, shotguns, and all of that. It's going to be a different story for sidearms and submachine guns. Another thing you want to keep in mind for this overall build is you want to run a heavy that has explosive light. Picking up an orb of power increases the next projectile's blast radius and damage, but that's not why you're running this. Why you're running this is that every time you get a full super, after that you're not going to be able to pick up those orbs unless you're running a weapon with this perk in the heavy slot. So do keep that in mind, especially in modes like 6s. Wavesplitter is going to be an absolute monster. In a mode like Trials, you're going to have to be more careful and more precise with your shots. Special ammo is changing. You're not going to be able to pick up a lot of it now, and you're not going to be able to use special ammo scavengers. Those are some crazy changes. I know the sandbox is going to feel so much different next season. 10 seconds of maximized damage instead of 5 seconds. That alone is crazy, guys. It really is. Like 10 seconds is a very long period of time in PvP to move on from one kill to another. Like even 5 seconds, right? But in some cases, you get that kill and you're trying to rush it. And when it's only 5 seconds, that sometimes forces you to make some stupid mistakes because you know that you don't have a lot of time. So you're trying to find someone and you're rushing it, you know? But now with 10 seconds, you can play it smarter. You can play it a bit slower. And the fact is, once you find someone, you are going to kill them. Like, unless you completely miss your shots, I don't see how you're going to be losing a battle when you have the buff up with this weapon right here. Everything just melts so fast. It's incredible. I've been having a blast with this build. I truly believe you guys should try it out. There's just so many builds in this game that a lot of people never touch because it's not used by the majority of people. But trust me, a lot of these weapons, a lot of these builds are extremely fun to use. The game just feels so much more fun when you change things around, when you don't use the same things 24/7. And this game has a lot of builds, a lot of weapons that are truly fun, but just people don't use them. So don't make that mistake. Hop into the Crucible, try this build out. Trust me, you're gonna have a blast and you can thank me later.